Hello aspirants, this is me Yasmin Gill presenting to you the PIB highlights of 3rd of February. So the Feb course is live and you can follow it on this particular link, plus you can also rate and review the course. And how to rate and review the course? For this, please check out the overview lesson regarding the same. So the overview lesson, it is titled as such, that is overview lesson, and it is given in the Feb course. So just check it out, thereby you will find out when is the course uploaded, when are the videos uploaded, what are the timings for it, how can you benefit from the course, plus how can you rate and review. So let's begin. Firstly, we have under history culture section random snippets but very important. One is Bhojpuri language. So it is important. Why? Because government is right now seeing Bhojpuri cinema as a very big thing to promote, and it has acquired a brand of its own. In that context, it is important to know where is Bhojpuri language spoken. So it's mainly spoken in the Madhesh area of Nepal, eastern part of UP, Bihar mainly. Also, this language, that is Bhojpuri, is also spoken by the descendants of the indentured labourers which were taken during the time of British rule. Plus, where were these taken? To countries such as Fiji, Suriname, Mauritius, etc. Other than that, there are many other countries also where some people still speak Bhojpuri. Plus, we talk about silk varieties, very important. Firstly, we have Bivoltin silk. What is Bivoltin silk? It is a high quality mulberry silk. Produced in India, this is mainly to check on imports. So, it's used as an import substitution. Then we have Vanya silk. Vanya silk consists of 3 categories. One is Mugga, then is Eri, then is Sar silk. So, all these 3 varieties are known as wild silks. Why? Because they are procured from wild silkworms. Obviously, they do not feed on mulberry leaves as the mulberry silk worms do. So they feed on these wild silkworms. They feed on leaves, for example, castor leaves, kesuru leaves, and so on. So these are usually prevalent. This variety of silk is usually prevalent in northeast and certain tribal zones plus sub-Himalayan region. I would suggest you to please check out all these 3 varieties. Where are they prevalent individually? So Mugga silk, for example, is very much prevalent in Assam. Then we have, see, this particular silk, that is Vanya silk, because it is procured from wild silkworms. So where you touch the cloth, it is not that even. So this unevenness is reflected in the cloth as well. So this is about silk varieties and about Bhojpuri. Then we have natural silk. So natural silk, India produces all the 4 varieties of natural silk as given: mulberry, sar, mulberry, and non-mulberry. So natural silk in general is insect fiber. Why? Because the silkworm that feeds on it is an insect. But it is considered to be an animal fiber. Why? Because of its strong protein structure. Then we have society related issues. Firstly, we have tribal healthcare project. You can do it from here. It's not that important. Then we have Central Council of Indian Medicine. First point important is that it's a statutory body. Second point important is that it regulates 3 traditional medicine systems. One is Ayurveda, then we have Unani, and then we have Siddha. So these 3 medicine systems are regulated by CCIM. Next, we have antibiotic resistance. So important point, why are we talking about it? Because it has risen in the past few years. Plus, it's become a very big problem because of the rise of superbugs. So what has Government of India done about it? Firstly, it has come up with a national program regarding it. So surveillance network, surveillance laboratories have been set up to keep a check upon antibiotic resistance. Simultaneously, drug and cosmetic rules have been simultaneously amended to check the over-the-counter sale. In that context, the packaging, it has been made mandatory to actually print upon it with red border regarding the possible consequences. Simultaneously, the pharmaceutical chemists can only sell it when they get a suitable prescription. Also, the government drug inspectors, they can do surprise checks as well. And the most important question here arises, what are the reasons behind antibiotic resistance and its prevalence? So few of the reasons are, one is either the overuse of such drugs or misuse. By misuse, you can mean many things. See, antibiotics, they have a certain amount of a certain sort of course. If that is not followed, that also comes under misuse. Suppose if you take medicine before or after that course, that also counts under the misuse. So this is one reason. Other factors include inadequate sanitation and infection control, both in healthcare settings, that is hospitals, etc., plus in community circles. So this is all about antibiotic resistance. Then we come to Hague Convention, very important. But before that, do mention in the comment section where is Hague located. Okay, as far as the convention goes, it is related to the international child abduction. So it applies to any child up to the age of 16 years. In case any abduction has taken place across international borders, the member countries, they can actually call back that child with the help of each other. So it has been in existence since 1983. As far as India is concerned, we have no specific legislation regarding this particular theme. Law Commission has suggested regarding the same, and in that context, Ministry of Women and Child Development last year also came up with a bill. The bill was titled Civil Aspects of International Child Abduction Bill. Then we have under polity governance section electoral funding. So this is from an article of Indian Express. So we know in this budget government took a lot many steps towards electoral funding. So will it actually improve upon the menace of money power in elections or not? So let's see. Firstly, the author actually put forward certain questions which actually will lead you to question the genuinity of the government measures. So firstly, it asks, why is even cash allowed up to 2000? When the cash was allowed up to 20,000, what anonymous cash was allowed up to 20,000, what people used to do was they used to submit money in the form of 19,999. The same would go for now 2,000 also. So why even cash up to 2,000? Then we have, as per the indication of finance minister regarding the upcoming electoral bonds, which are not right now completely specified, but as far as the indication by finance minister goes, he says that these electoral bonds will be bearer in character, and this is to enable the donor anonymity. That is, the name won't be submitted. So therefore, transparency will suffer. This is one thing. Also, this transparency is very much important. Why? Because 75 to 80% of political funding comes from unknown sources. Then we have, what are the new measures taken? Government says that they have asked political party to file their tax returns within a stipulated time. But this measure was there since 1979. Simultaneously, there is a condition whereby it is said that the exemptions that are allowed from income tax, they are only allowed after certain conditions are met. Even this measure was there since 2003. So it's up to you to decide how much these measures will actually impact. At the last, the author says that let all political parties come under RTI, which is a long-stated demand. Plus, this is also spoken of by Chief Information Commissioner as well. Next, we have under international relation India and Iran. Important point is that do remember Iran is one of the largest importers of basmati rice from India. Also important is that there's a body called as APID. The full form is Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. So do study about it from here. It comes under Ministry of Commerce and Industry and is mainly responsible for setting up export standards of goods. Next, we have India and H-1B visas. So this is again from Indian Express. It's based on an article from Indian Express. How is this the law which is come up in US? So how is it going to impact Indian industry? Firstly, the stocks of Indian IT majors have fallen. The timing is even worse because already Indian IT sector is suffering from loss in profits, and now this will be an additional sort of bad thing for them. Also, see, but what has happened is that if you look at what the technology giants, I would say, of Silicon Valley, for example, Microsoft and Google, what have they been saying? See, they say that H-1B visas are extremely important for recruiting specialized labor. Why? Because H-1B visa is mainly for specialized works. And why do they say so? Why do they say so that H-1B visas should be allowed or H-1B visas are very important? Because they say that the jobs they require in their technology sector, they cannot be filled by using US citizens. Trump's idea was that we will actually put curbs on H-1B so that American citizens get job. But these technology giants, they say that these jobs cannot be filled by US citizens. Why? For example, they cite a reason by saying that writing code, which is much a requirement in IT sector, that is usually not prevalent or pursued by US citizens at all. So thereby they need citizens from countries such as India and various other developing countries to work for them and work under the H-1B visa regime. So this is what they have to say. But what can be the way forward? We cannot just be happy into what they say. What we have to do is we have to de-risk our Indian IT companies so that we do not have to depend upon the whims and fancies of what a foreign government changes in their laws, right? So what can we do is we can invest into various other sort of niche areas, for example, robotics, artificial intelligence, etc. Artificial intelligence has also acquired a lot of scope, especially in context of fourth industrial revolution. Next, we have under economics DBT in fertilizer sector. So once we covered it previously too in PIB. So DBT in fertilizer is different from the other sort of DBT. Why? Because in this, subsidy is not directly released to beneficiary. Rather, it is given to fertilizer companies. Why so? Because in this, the beneficiaries and the entitlement is not yet that clear. Then we have USSD for cashless payments. This also once we did back in PIB. So what is USSD? It is unstructured supplementary service data. So in a simple way, if you explain it, there's a normal phone, not smartphone, there's a normal phone, then there's a smartphone. In between, we have developed a thing known as feature phones. So these have certain features of smartphones, but it is not exactly a smartphone. So it enables you to do certain things which smartphone does. And this particular USSD, it has been a service which has been ensured by NPCI, what can happen is that without using internet, people in unserved or unconnected areas can actually do mobile banking using just text messaging. So they can use it without internet and using the feature phones. Also, another worthy point about USSD is that it is an interoperable payment platform available in various languages. Then we have Modinomics, very important. In context of the budget, coming up we have what is the trend of the economic, or what is the economic idea of the current government. One is very clear, fiscal consolidation. Very important. Why? Because see, before the current budget came up, many economists and many corporates have suggested the government to be flexible in their fiscal spending, particularly in context of private investment being very weak and demonetization's impact on demand. But still, government went for fiscal consolidation. And important, this is even more important. Why? Because this fiscal discipline has come from within and it is not forced. So what is the reasoning behind such fiscal discipline? Low amount of fiscal deficits will help government to borrow less. Once it borrows less and inflation is controlled, it can actually lower down the interest rates. And once the low interest rates are lowered, private investment can pick up, plus spending will also increase on the consumer end. Simultaneously, apart from fiscal consolidation, government has focused on new avenues of resource raising by way of various cesses. Simultaneously, it has paid its cards very well. How? Because it has taken advantage of low oil prices to hike excise duty. So overall, if you look in economic terms, the regime is not populist. Then we have BHIM application. So do study about BHIM app. These are certain small snippets which you must have already covered. So these are mentioned in PIB, certain salient features. Next we have TPDS. You can study about it. It's very static and very much self-explanatory. Next we have this small snippets. Firstly, we have India's foreign exchange reserves. What are the things which are included in foreign reserves? This can be asked in the form of MCQ. Just go through it. Then NABARD has come up with a financial inclusion fund. In this fund, it will help in deployment of at least 2 point-of-sale machine devices per village. Then we have 100% FDI opened in white label ATM. We did about this while demonetization season was on. So white label ATM, we won't be covering it again. Just do mention in the comment section what does it mean. So in that context, yes, 100% is allowed, but that is subject to certain conditions. What are the conditions? The company must have a net worth of 100 crore. Secondly, if the company is engaged in other sort of NBFC, that is non-bank financing company activities, then the minimum capitalization requirement which are there for foreign investment in NBFCs, that must be followed. Then we have security related. We have exercise Ecovirin with Maldives. Then we have about Barak missile system. So we have two systems. One is long range, the other one is medium range. The whole missile system is developed with the help of Israel, which calls it Barak 8. Also, long range is for ship launch, while medium range is for land launch. And if you look at the medium range one, the range for it is 100 kilometers away. 100 kilometers is to detect, while to attack them or destroy them, the range is 70 kilometers. As far as the long range is concerned, it can penetrate in deep water. See, it is a ship launch, right? So it can penetrate in deep water, land, and intercept various types of aerial targets. So this is all about Barak missile system. And these are certain MCQs which are asked in today's session. One is pertaining to Civil Service Day. Then we have Meenakshi Gurukul. What is she related to? Which field is she related to? And third, we have about Preetam Singh Committee. So friends, in case and lastly, we have about Prime Minister National Relief Fund. So friends, in case you find the MCQ course useful, do not forget to rate and review the same. And in case you find this course useful, do rate and review the videos. And how can you do so? You can search upon it in the overview lesson. Thank you so much.